Listen to me. You've got 24 hours. That's it. Just 24. One day. That's all you get. Not 25. Not 30. Not an extra hour when you feel like it. The same clock that runs my life runs yours. Midnight hits, the clock resets, and that day is gone forever. Never coming back. Never repeating itself. Never giving you another shot. You need to stop walking around like you've got time. That's the biggest lie the world is selling you. You've got time. No, you don't. Somebody went to bed last night with plans for today. They had a schedule. They had meetings lined up. They had dreams they thought they'd chase. And guess what? They didn't wake up this morning. Their 24 ran out. And here's the crazy part. You think it can't happen to you. You think death sends a calendar invite. You think the end of your story comes with a warning. No, life doesn't ask permission. Time doesn't wait for you to get ready. Time moves. Whether you use it or not, whether you respect it or not, whether you waste it or invest it. Time moves. So the question is not, do you have time? The question is, what are you doing with the 24 hours you've been given today? You get the same 24 as everyone else. Here's what's wild. Every single one of us gets the same thing. The billionaire in Dubai, 24 hours. The Olympic athlete training for gold, 24 hours. The student grinding for a scholarship, 24 hours. The single mother working 2 jobs, 24 hours. Nobody on this planet gets more than you. Nobody on this planet gets less than you. We all start the day with the same 440 minutes. The difference is not the hours. The difference is the habits. The difference is not the time you've got. The difference is how you use it. Some of you are broke, not because you're not talented, not because you're not capable, but because you waste your 24. You waste it on your phone. You waste it talking about people who don't even think about you. You waste it sleeping in when you said you'd be chasing your dream. Meanwhile, the person who's eating your lunch, the person you envy, the person you watch on Instagram, they're not more gifted than you. They're not luckier than you. They don't have a secret time machine. They just decided to value their 24 more than you value yours. Let me put it this way. You can lose money and make it again. You can lose a job and get another one. You can lose a friend and meet new people. But once you lose today's 24, it's gone. You can't buy it back. You can't rewind it. You can't trade for it. If time were money, most of you would already be bankrupt because you spend it like it's unlimited. You spend it like there's always more in the bank. You spend it like you can swipe the card and tomorrow will cover it. But life doesn't work like that. When the balance hits 0, it's game over. That's why the greats respect their 24. That's why they don't play with their schedule. That's why they wake up when it's still dark. That's why they grind when nobody's watching. Because they know the truth, the clock doesn't stop. And if they don't move, they get left behind. Here's another lie you keep telling yourself. I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised. You don't own tomorrow. You don't control tomorrow. Tomorrow is a rumor, a possibility, a maybe. But today is guaranteed. Today is in your hand. Today is your responsibility. So why are you wasting what you've been given chasing what you haven't been promised? Some of you are so addicted to someday that you've wasted years. You've been saying, one day I'll start that business. One day I'll write that book. One day I'll fix my health. And now look, you're 5 years older, 10 years older, and that one day is still stuck in your mouth. Meanwhile, the clock keeps moving. Let me tell you the truth, someday doesn't exist. There is no later. There is no perfect moment. All you've got is right now. All you've got is this 24. I need you to wake up and understand time is not loyal. Time doesn't care if you're tired. Time doesn't care if you're broke. Time doesn't care if you've been through trauma. Time doesn't care about your excuses. Time keeps moving. You've been saying, you don't understand. I'm going through too much right now. And I'm telling you, that's exactly why you need to use your 24. Because if you waste it, the pain doesn't go away. The bills don't go away. The problems don't go away. They just get bigger while your 24 slips through your fingers. This is not about being perfect. This is not about never failing. This is not about always winning. This is about honoring the only resource you can't get back, time. I want you to think about this. What if today was your last 24? What if you didn't wake up tomorrow? Would you be proud of how you used it? Would you be proud of the people you called, the energy you gave, the grind you put in, or would you regret it? Would you look back and realize you wasted another day on gossip, on negativity, on fear, on excuses? If you knew this was your last day, you wouldn't waste it. You'd squeeze every ounce of life out of it. You'd live with urgency. You'd love deeper. You'd fight harder. You'd move faster. You'd stop saying, I'll do it later, because you'd know there is no later. Guess what? That's how you should treat every single 24. Because one day you'll be right. One day, this will be your last 24. And on that day, the only thing that will matter is what you did with the time you were given. So here, mate, stop waiting. Stop wasting. Stop walking around like your 24 is guaranteed. Because it's not. Stop living like you've got forever. Because you don't. You've got today, right now. This 24. That's your gift. That's your opportunity. That's your shot. The only question left is, what are you going to do with it? Listen to me very carefully. Money is not the most valuable currency. Fame is not the most valuable currency. Power is not the most valuable currency. The most valuable currency in the universe is time. You can be broke and make money back. You can lose friends and rebuild relationships. You can fail and try again. But once you waste your 24, it's gone. Done. Finished. Never coming back. See, the reason so many of you aren't where you want to be is because you don't value time the way you value money. If I dropped a $100 bill on the floor, you'd sprint to pick it up. If I told you there's a bag with $10,000 outside, you'd run barefoot on glass to grab it. But when it comes to your 24, you give it away like it's nothing. You spend it scrolling, you spend it complaining, you spend it on meaningless stuff, and you don't even realize you're spending the most expensive thing you own. Let me break it down like this. Every morning, when you wake up, life deposits 440 minutes into your account. That's your paycheck. That's your allowance. That's your grant for the day. But here's the catch. It doesn't roll over. There are no carryovers. There's no savings account. At midnight, your balance goes to zero no matter what. And the next morning, if you're blessed to open your eyes, you get another 440 minutes. But the ones you didn't use yesterday are gone. That's the game. That's how life works. Some of you are out here worried about your bank account, but you should be worried about your time account. Because I don't care how much money you've got. If you don't use your time, you will still end up broke. Broke in purpose. Broke in potential. Broke in dreams. Here's the crazy thing. Time doesn't discriminate. Time doesn't care if you're rich or poor, black or white, male or female, old or young. The President of the United States, 24 hours. A kid hustling on the streets, 24 hours. A CEO of a Fortune 500 company, 24 hours. The question is never, how much time do you have? The question is always, how do you use it? That's why some people with less education, fewer resources, fewer connections are still out here winning. Because they use their 24 like their life depends on it. Because it does. And others with all the talent in the world, all the gifts, all the opportunities, still lose. Not because life cheated them, but because they cheated their own 24. I need you to understand something. Time is more valuable than money. If you don't believe me, ask a billionaire on his deathbed. Ask him if he'd trade half his fortune for 5 more years of life. He would give it up in a heartbeat. Why? Because deep down we all know the truth: money can be replaced, but time cannot. Let me make it personal. If I stole $100 from you, you'd be mad, right? You'd call the cops. You'd chase me down. But everyday people steal your time. Social media steals your time. Netflix steals your time. Gossip steals your time. Fear steals your time. And you don't even fight for it. You just give it away. Why? Why? Because you don't see the invoice. You don't see the bill. But trust me, it's there. And at the end of your life, when you look back, you're going to realize time was the only currency that mattered. Let me tell you something about time debt. Every time you procrastinate, every time you push things off, every time you waste your 24, you're not just losing time. You're creating debt. That dream you said you'd chase, the book you said you'd write, the weight you said you'd lose, the relationship you said you'd fix, every day you delay, the interest builds up. And one day, the debt collector comes. And when it comes, it's ruthless. You can't negotiate a time with time. You can't bargain with time. You can't say, give me an extension. When the debt comes due, it's over. So the reality check is this: you've been living like you've got unlimited deposits, but you don't. Every day is a withdrawal. Every day your account balance shrinks. Every day you are closer to zero. See, the people you admire, the legends, the icons, they understood the value of time. They didn't just work for money. They worked for legacy. They used their 24 to build something that outlived them. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated at 39, but because of how he used his 24, his voice still echoes through generations. Kobe Bryant died at 41, but because of how he used his 24, his mindset, Mamba mentality, is immortal. It's not about how long you live. It's about how you lie while you're here. It's not about the number of years in your life. It's about the life you put in your years. And the life you put in your years is determined by how you use your 24. I know what you're thinking. Ed, you don't get it. I've got problems. I've got bills. I've got responsibilities. I've been through trauma. Listen to me, I get it. Life is not fair. But the math is the math. The clock doesn't stop because you had a bad day. The clock doesn't pause because you're depressed. The clock doesn't care that people hurt you. You either use your 24 or you lose your 24. That's it. Excuses don't stop the clock. Complaining doesn't stop the clock. Blaming doesn't stop the clock. You still get the same 440 minutes, and at the end of the day, you still lose them if you don't use them. So here's the reality check. You've been sleeping on the most valuable thing you own. You've been protecting your phone more than your 24. You've been protecting your car more than your 24. You've been protecting your reputation more than your 24. But time is the only thing you can't get back. Time is the only thing you can't replace. Time is the only thing that matters in the end. And until you start treating your 24 like your most valuable possession, until you start guarding it, protecting it, investing it, and multiplying it, you will never reach your full potential. So ask yourself right now, are you spending your time or are you investing it? Are you wasting your 24 or are you working your 24? Because one day, sooner than you think, you're going to run out. And when that day comes, it won't matter what excuses you had. It won't matter how unfair life was. The only thing that will matter is how you spent your time. Don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. Every success story you've ever admired is built on the same thing: sacrifice, struggle, pain, and above all, a relentless respect for the 24 hours they were given. You think people just get lucky. You think they woke up one day with money in their pocket, fame on their name, success in their hands? No! They went through hell. They paid a price. They learned how to use their 24 when everybody else was wasting theirs. Let me make it real. Some of you know my story. I was homeless. I was eating out of trash cans. I slept in abandoned buildings. I dropped out of high school. On paper, I was finished. Done. Over. Nobody was looking at me saying, that's the next motivational speaker. That's the guy who's going to inspire millions. No, they wrote me off. But here's what they didn't know. I still had 24 hours. Even when I had nothing else, I still had my time. And I made a decision I wasn't going to waste it anymore. See, you don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be the most talented. You don't have to be the most gifted. But if you learn to grind with your 24, you can change your life. I'm living proof. I didn't go from homeless to college professor by luck. I did it by respecting the 24, by saying no more excuses, by waking up earlier, by studying harder, by grinding longer, by squeezing every second out of my day until my reality matched my vision. Let's talk about Kobe. You love Kobe because he was great on the court, but what made him great wasn't talent. What made him great was his obsession with his 24. Kobe was the first one in the gym, the last one to leave. He would practice 6-7 hours a day. When other players were going out, he was putting up shots. When other players were sleeping, he was watching film. When other players were satisfied, he was hungry. Why? Because he respected the 24. He knew talent could only take him so far. He knew the difference between good and great, between great and legendary, is how you use the hours everyone else wastes. That's the Mamba mentality. And that's why when Kobe died at 41, his impact still lives. because he used his 24 to build something eternal. Let's look at Oprah. Born into poverty, abused as a child, no privilege, no connections, no easy path. She had every excuse in the world to waste her 24, but she didn't. She used it to study. She used it to work. She used it to build her craft. When other people were partying, Oprah was preparing. When other people were comfortable, Oprah was stretching. And now, she's one of the most powerful women in the world. Not because life gave her extra time. Not because life gave her better conditions. But because she chose to dominate her 24 when others wasted theirs. You admire Michael Jordan for being the greatest basketball player of all time. But what you don't see is the 24 that built him. In high school, he got cut from the varsity team. Most kids would have quit. Most kids would have said, I'm not good enough. But Jordan didn't waste his 24 on self-pity. He went to work. He spent hours in the gym, hours practicing, hours grinding. And when he came back, he was unstoppable. People see the 6 championships. They don't see the 24-hour days of sweat, pain, discipline, sacrifice. But that's the secret. That's always the secret. Let me give you another story. I had a student who came to me and said, Ed, I want to be successful, but I'm struggling. I don't have money. I don't have support. I don't have a chance. And I looked at him and said, you've got the same 24 hours as everybody else. What are you doing with it? So I challenged him. I said, for 90 days, I want you to change how you use your 24. Wake up earlier. Cut out the distractions. Study like your life depends on it. And guess what? 90 days later, he wasn't just passing his classes. He was at the top of his program. Not because life suddenly got easier. Not because someone handed him money. But because he finally respected his 24. Here's the truth. You can't have success and comfort at the same time. You've got to choose. Everybody wants success, but nobody wants to give up their comfort. Nobody wants to sacrifice their sleep. Nobody wants to sacrifice their weekends. Nobody wants to sacrifice their Netflix, their parties, their scrolling. But let me be clear, success demands sacrifice. Success demands that you give up what's easy for what's necessary. Success demands that you trade your comfort for your calling. So the question is, what are you willing to sacrifice in your 24? Because if you're not willing to sacrifice anything, don't expect to get everything. Ordinary people, extraordinary use of time. Don't just look at the famous names. Look at ordinary people. The single mom who works 2 jobs, goes to school at night, and still raises her kids. She's not superhuman. She just decided to use her 24 differently. The immigrant who comes to a new country with nothing, works long hours, saves every penny, and eventually builds a business. Not superhuman, just disciplined with the 24. Ordinary people become extraordinary not because life is fair, but because they refuse to waste their 24. Every story you admire, mine, Kobe's, Oprah's, Jordan's, your neighbor, your teacher, your mentor, they all come down to one thing. What they did with their 24. The grind, the sacrifice, the sleepless nights, the discipline, the pain, the choices, that's the difference. So stop waiting for a miracle. Stop waiting for luck. Stop waiting for somebody to hand you an opportunity. You don't need luck. You don't need miracles. You don't need a handout. You need to master your 24. Because if you respect your 24, if you use it with discipline and hunger, your story will be the next one people tell. The reason most people waste their 24 is simple. They're running from pain. They're trying to numb it, escape it, avoid it. That's why they scroll for hours. That's why they binge shows. That's why they sleep in. That's why they procrastinate. Because deep down, they don't want to face the pain. But here's the truth. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your teacher. Pain is your fuel. Pain is your gift. And if you learn how to flip it, if you learn how to use it instead of escape it, pain will take you further than talent ever will. You want to know why people waste their 24? Because wasting time is easier than facing themselves. It's easier to laugh at memes than to sit in silence with your regrets. It's easier to gossip about other people than to look in the mirror and realize you're not where you should be. It's easier to chase temporary pleasure than to do the painful work of discipline. Discipline hurts. Waking up early hurts. Saying no to distractions hurts. Grinding when you're tired hurts. That's why most people quit. That's why most people waste their 24. They choose comfort over pain. But let me tell you something, the pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret lasts a lifetime. You go to the gym, you lift weights, your muscles hurt. Why? Because they're growing. Pain is proof of growth. Pain is evidence that you're stretching, that you're getting stronger, that you're going to another level. It's the same in life. You study late at night, it hurts, but that's your mind growing. You wake up at 4 a.m. to grind, it hurts, but that's your habits growing. You sacrifice comfort for purpose, it hurts, but that's your character growing. So stop running from pain, start welcoming it. Because the pain you feel today is the strength you'll carry tomorrow. Some of you are carrying deep wounds, abandonment, betrayal, failure, trauma, and you think those wounds disqualify you. You think those wounds make you weak. No, those wounds are weapons if you use them. I was homeless, abandoned by my father, dropped out of high school. That pain could have destroyed me, but I flipped it. I let it fuel me. I let it push me. I let it remind me that nobody was coming to save me, so I had to save myself. Kobe used the pain of losing to fuel his obsession. Oprah used the pain of her childhood to fuel her hunger for success. Jordan used the pain of rejection to fuel his fire. Greatness doesn't come from comfort. Greatness comes from pain. Here's the bottom line. You don't get to choose whether or not you feel pain in life. Pain is guaranteed. Struggle is guaranteed. Hardship is guaranteed. The only choice you get is, do you want the pain of discipline or the pain of regret? Do you want the pain of sacrifice today or the pain of failure tomorrow? Do you want the pain that builds you or the pain that breaks you? Because make no mistake, you're going to feel pain either way. But one pain leads to progress, the other leads to paralysis. Let's get real. The worst pain in life is not losing money. It's not failing. It's not rejection. The worst pain is wasted time. The worst pain is waking up one day and realizing you could have been more. You could have done more. You could have lived more. But you didn't because you wasted your 24 on excuses, on fear, on comfort. Some of you are already tasting that pain. You're looking back at your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, and you're thinking, I should have done more. That's regret. And if you don't change, if you don't flip the script, you're going to live with that regret until the day you die. But here's the good news: as long as you're still breathing, as long as you woke up this morning, as long as you still get a 24, it's not too late. You can still flip it. You can still turn your pain into power when you're tired and you don't want to get up. Remember the pain of staying the same. When you feel like quitting, remember the pain of regret. When you want to waste time, remember the pain of being average. Use it. Use the pain as a reminder of why you can't stop. Use the pain as fuel for your grind. Use the pain to push you through the hard days. That's why I scream. That's why I push. That's why I go so hard. Because I remember the pain of being broke. I remember the pain of being homeless. I remember the pain of being overlooked. And I promised myself I'd never go back. That pain keeps me hungry. That pain keeps me focused. That pain keeps me grinding. Your pain is somebody else's hope. And don't miss this. Your pain is not just about you. Your pain is somebody else's hope. The way you overcome it, the way you fight through it, the way you use it, that's going to inspire someone else. That's going to give someone else permission to keep going. When I tell my story, people connect. Why? Because they see their own pain in mine. And if I can use mine to fuel my purpose, so can they. Your pain has power, not just for you, but for everyone watching you. So stop wasting your 24 running from pain. Stop numbing yourself with distractions. Stop hiding behind excuses. Pain is part of the process. Pain is part of the plan. Pain is the price of greatness. The only question is, will you use your pain to paralyze you, or will you use it to propel you? Will you waste your 24 avoiding it, or will you invest your 24 flipping it into fuel? Because the truth is, the people who win in life are not the ones who avoid pain. They're the ones who master it. They're the ones who flip it. They're the ones who turn their wounds into weapons, their scars into strength, their suffering into success. So the next time you feel pain, don't run. Don't quit. Don't waste your 24 hiding from it. Look it in the eye and say, thank you. You just gave me fuel. You don't need another motivational video. You don't need another hype speech. What you need is a blueprint, a system, a step-by-step game plan for how to dominate your 24. Because if you don't plan your day will plan you. If you don't own your 24, somebody else will rent it out. So I'm about to break it down. I'm about to give you a practical blueprint that will separate the grinders from the excuse makers. This is not theory. This is not fantasy. This is the same system I used when I went from homeless to college professor. The same system Kobe used. The same system Oprah used. The same system every great has used. You can't conquer the world if you can't conquer your bed. Period. Your morning sets the tone for your 24. If you start lazy, you'll stay lazy. If you start strong, you'll build momentum. That's why winners wake up early. That's why they beat the sun. That's why they move before the world moves. So the first step, wake up with purpose. Don't just roll over and grab your phone. Don't just check notifications. Don't just scroll. The moment you wake up, give gratitude, give thanks, get up, get moving. Drink water, pray, meditate, journal. Whatever centers you, do it. Then move straight into action. The average person starts their day reacting. The successful person starts their day attacking. You've got 440 minutes. If you don't tell those minutes where to go, they'll vanish. That's why you've got a time block. Break your day into chunks. Assign every block a job. Work block, study block, gym block, family block, even rest block. Don't let your hours wander. Put them on a leash. Here's the truth. Your calendar is your scoreboard. If it's empty, you're losing. If it's filled with purpose-driven blocks, you're winning. Don't say, I'll work out when I feel like it. Put it on the calendar. Don't say, I'll study when I have time. Put it on the calendar. Don't say, I'll build my business when inspiration hits. Put it on the calendar. Because what gets scheduled gets done. Every day you need to focus on your big three. The three tasks that matter most. The three things that move the needle. The three actions that bring you closer to your dreams. Stop wasting time on busy work. Stop hiding behind little tasks that make you feel productive, but don't actually change your life. Identify your big three and attack them first. For me, when I was grinding in school, the big three were study for 2 hours, write for 1 hour, work on my speaking craft, everything else was extra. Everything else was bonus. But if I knocked out my big three, I knew I was moving forward. Let's keep it real. Distractions are killing your 24. Social media, TV, gossip, video games, comfort. You say you don't have time, but the truth is you don't have focus. So you've got to eliminate, set boundaries. Turn off notifications. Log out of apps. Tell your friends, I can't hang out today, I'm grinding. Put yourself in environments that push you, not ones that pull you down. Remember, distraction doesn't just waste time. It wastes potential. Every time you give your focus to nonsense, you steal it from your purpose. I don't care how busy you are. You've got to take care of your body. Because if your body breaks, your dreams break. Exercise, eat clean, sleep right, hydrate. This is not about looking good on Instagram. This is about longevity. This is about energy. This is about stamina. You can't grind 16 hours if your body collapses at hour 6. And don't forget your mind. Read, study, learn. Feed your brain like you feed your stomach. Because the sharper your mind, the sharper your decisions. Some of you are burning out, not because you're grinding too hard, but because you're resting the wrong way. Scrolling on your phone is not rest. Binge watching shows is not rest. Arguing on social media is not rest. That's just more noise. Real rest is intentional. It's sleep. It's prayer. It's family. It's hobbies that recharge your spirit. Rest is not about escaping your life. Rest is about refueling so you can attack your life stronger tomorrow. At the end of every 24, sit down and reflect. Ask yourself, what did I accomplish today? What did I waste time on? How can I do better tomorrow? Don't just let the day pass. Study it, learn from it, improve it. That's how you turn 24 good hours into 30 good days, into 365 good days, into a life you're proud of. Let me be clear, this blueprint only works if you've got the mindset that says, I will not waste this 24. The mindset that says, I will sacrifice now so I can shine later. The mindset that says, comfort is temporary. Legacy is forever. You've got to attack your 24 like your life depends on it. Because it does. You've got to grind when you're tired. Push when you're hurting. Move when you don't feel like moving. Because that's what separates winners from dream or win the morning. Time, block your day. Focus on your big three. Eliminate distractions. Take care of your body and rest with intention. Reflect and reset. That's the blueprint. That's the playbook. That's how you stop wasting your 24 and start owning it. And if you follow this, if you apply it, if you commit to it every single day, I promise you, your life will never be the same. I've been building you up layer by layer. I gave you the truth about time. I gave you the blueprint. I gave you the principles. But now it's decision time. Because all this knowledge, all this hype, all this blueprint means absolutely nothing if you don't act on it. You can sit there nodding your head. You can clap your hands. You can feel inspired for 20 minutes after this speech. But if you don't change the way you live the next 24 hours, then it's wasted. So let me ask you, what are you going to do with your 24 hours? Time doesn't wait. Life doesn't pause. Opportunity doesn't knock twice. Some of you keep saying, one day I'll start my business. One day I'll write that book. One day I'll chase that dream. Listen to me, one day is not on the calendar. There's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but there is no one day. You've got to stop pushing your dreams into a future that doesn't exist. You've got to stop living like tomorrow is guaranteed. Tomorrow is not promised. All you've got is today. All you've got is these 24 hours. I need you to stop living like you've got forever, because you don't. You think you have time. That's the biggest lie you've been sold. You think you can waste today because you'll have tomorrow. You think you can chill this year because you'll grind next year. You think you can relax in your 20s and work hard in your 30s. But I've seen people lose everything overnight. I've seen lives flipped upside down in a phone call. I've seen dreams buried in graves because they kept waiting for more time. Hear me, the graveyard is full of unfulfilled potential. Full of books never written, businesses never started, songs never sung. Why? Because people thought they had more time. You don't. So here's the real question. If today was your last 24, how would you live it? If you knew you weren't going to wake up tomorrow, would you still waste time scrolling? Would you still spend hours gossiping? Would you still be scared of failing? No. You'd move. You'd call that person you've been avoiding. You'd start that project. You'd take that risk. You'd stop procrastinating. And that's how you need to live every day. Not reckless. Not careless, but urgent. Intentional. Hungry. Because the truth is, you don't know if this is your last 24. You don't know if this is your last shot. Everybody has a dream, but not everybody has urgency. And urgency is the difference between dreamers and doers. Dreamers wait. Doers move. Dreamers hope. Doers hustle. Dreamers say, one day. Doers say, day one. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's not about resources. It's about urgency. It's about seizing the moment. It's about taking massive action today. The people you admire, they didn't wait. They didn't stall. They didn't hesitate. They acted. They moved. They seized their 24 like it was their last. So let me ask you again, what are you going to do with your 24 hours? Are you going to waste it on distractions? Or are you going to use it to build your legacy? Are you going to complain about your circumstances? Or are you going to grind your way out of them? Are you going to keep talking about what you want? Or are you finally going to take the steps to get it? Because the truth is, nobody cares what you say you're going to do. The world only respects what you actually do. And the only way you get it done is if you make your 24 count. No more excuses. I don't want to hear excuses anymore. I don't have time. I don't have money. I don't have support. You've got 24 hours just like everyone else. Billionaires don't get 25 hours. Athletes don't get 26 hours. CEOs don't get 27 hours. They get the same 24 you get. The only difference is how they use it. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Stop waiting until it's easy. If it were easy, everybody would do it. But it's not easy. That's why it's worth it. That's why it matters. That's why it's urgent. This is your wake-up call. Right here. Right now. This is the moment where you decide whether you're going to keep wasting time or whether you're going to seize your 24 like your life depends on it. Because it does. Listen to me. You are one decision away from a different life. One day of discipline away from a breakthrough. One 24-hour period of extreme focus away from momentum that changes everything. But you've got to make the choice. You've got to take the step. You've got to move. So here's my challenge to you for the next 24 hours. Go all in. No excuses. No wasted time. No distractions. Wake up early. Time block your day. Attack your big three. Eliminate the nonsense. Grind with everything you've got. And then, at the end of the day, look yourself in the mirror and ask, did I maximize this 24? Did I live like it mattered? Did I move closer to my dream? If the answer is yes, do it again tomorrow. Stack enough of those days and your entire life will transform. This is the climax. This is the moment I can scream. I can motivate. I can inspire. But at the end of the day, you've got to decide. You've got to commit. You've got to act. So I'll ask you one last time, what will you do with your 24 hours? Because the clock is ticking. The time is running out. And once it's gone, you don't get it back. Make it count. We've gone through the principles, the pain, the blueprint, the urgency. But now it's time for the explosion. Because all the knowledge in the world doesn't matter if you don't move. All the inspiration in the world won't save you if you keep sitting still. This is the final push, the last reminder, the call to action that leaves you with no excuses, no escape, no turning back. You've got 24 hours. That's it. No do-overs, no rewinds, no second takes. Once this 24 is gone, it's gone forever. You can't buy it back. You can't beg for it back. You can't bargain for it back. And here's the scary part. Every day you waste is one less day you'll ever have. Every excuse you make is one opportunity you'll never see again. Every distraction you choose is one step further from your destiny. So the question is, how much longer are you going to waste? How much longer are you going to wait? No excuses. Don't tell me you don't have resources. Don't tell me you don't have connections. Don't tell me you don't have support. You've got 24 hours. That's all you need. Because greatness doesn't come from what you have. It comes from what you do with what you have. It comes from grinding with what's in your hand. It comes from refusing to let excuses own your life. Listen, excuses are lies you tell yourself to stay comfortable. Excuses are the stories you write to justify your lack of action. Excuses are chains that keep you in the same place year after year. But today, right now, you can break those chains. You can destroy those excuses. You can look yourself in the mirror and say no more. Today, I make it count. If you don't move now, if you don't act today, let me tell you what's going to happen. A year from now, you'll be in the same place, wondering why your life hasn't changed. 5 years from now, you'll be watching other people live the dreams you could have had. 10 years from now, you'll be telling stories about, wow, what you almost did. And at the end of your life, you'll be haunted by one word, regret. Regret will crush you harder than failure ever could. Failure is feedback. Failure teaches you. Failure makes you stronger. But regret is a prison. Regret is looking back at your life and realizing you had time, but you wasted it. You had chances, but you ignored them. You had 24 hours every single day, and you threw them away. Don't let regret be your story. Your life can change in a single day. Not in a year, not in a decade, in a single day, in a single decision. When I was homeless, living in an abandoned building, my life didn't change over years. It changed the day I decided enough is enough. I will not live like this anymore. That was the day I started walking toward my destiny. That was the day everything shifted. And you have the same power, the power of decision, the power to say today is my day. Today I stop wasting time. Today I start building my future. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You don't need the world to clap for you. All you need is a decision of firm, unshakable, unstoppable decision. So here's what I want you to do. After you hear this, after you feel this, I want you to get up and act immediately. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Today, right now. If you've been sitting on an idea, start. Write it down. Build the plan. Take the first step. If you've been making excuses about your health, get up, put on your shoes, and move your body. If you've been wasting time on distractions, delete the apps, block the noise, and reclaim your focus. If you've been waiting to tell someone you love them or to fix that relationship, pick up the phone and make the call. Do something, anything, but do it today. Because action creates momentum, and momentum changes everything. You keep saying, I'll do it tomorrow. But let me ask you this, what if tomorrow doesn't come? What if today is all you've got? The harsh truth is, one day you'll wake up and it will be your last day. And you won't know it. There won't be a warning. There won't be a countdown. And on that day, the only thing that will matter is how you lived your 24. So don't waste this one. Don't roll the dice on tomorrow. Don't gamble with your destiny. Live today like it's your last. Grind today like everything depends on it. Love today like tomorrow isn't promised. I need you to feel this. I need you to burn this into your soul. You've got 24 hours. You've got the same time as the greats. You've got everything you need inside of you. So stop waiting. Stop making excuses. Stop wasting the gift of life. Decide. Commit. Act. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your 24. And if you seize it, if you give everything you've got, if you pour your heart, soul, and sweat into these 24 hours, then tomorrow will not be the same. Next year will not be the same. Your life will not be the same. You will look back and say, that was the day I changed everything. That was the day I stopped existing and started living. That was the day I took control of my 24. So what are you waiting for? Get up, move, build. Great, live, because the clock is ticking. The hours are slipping. The time is now. No excuses, no hesitation, no regret. Make it count.